Okay, so we got some Zerg changes, we got Protoss changes, Terran changes. Holy fuck, dude. What? There's so many. Oh my god, dude. Wow, okay. That's a lot of changes. That's actually crazy. Alright, let's go through these one at a time, starting with the Zerg ones, I guess. Cooldown increased from 11 to 13 seconds. Sight range reduced from 11 to 10. Okay. Sounds good to me. I actually thought they were going to buff creep when I saw the creep tumor before I left. And I was worried about that. But, okay, they're nerfing it. I think that's good. They're going to need to buff other stuff, obviously, but that sounds good to me. Creep spread interval decreased from 0.3 to 0.25. Wait, what? Creep spread interval. What's the interval? Like building out of the hatch? I'm actually not sure what that is. Creep spread interval. It must be building out of the hatch, right? Just in line with the creep tumor adjustment. Okay. Sight range increased from 10, 11, 12 to 12. I actually don't really know how the hatcheries work. I think what it's talking about here is like the sight range increases as it's building, maybe? That must be what it is, right? It's a pretty minor change, though. I'll have to look into what that actually is doing because, yeah, I actually don't know what these are doing. But I think it's increasing the speed out of the creep goes to the hatchery and then also the range, which seems fine to me. Go eat. No, go eat. Okay, Viper added 0.71 second cast finish time to abduct. Cannot move or use other abilities during this time. Interesting. Okay. So I think that'll mostly affect late game ZVP, right? I'm assuming that'll affect late game ZVP the most. But I guess it could also impact Lurker Viper fights. And maybe also versus Mech. That might make Mech better as well. I think those are probably all good things. These honestly seem like pretty reasonable changes so far. I don't see any buffs yet for for Zerg though. Yeah, okay, they're gonna buff the Ultra. Reduce size by 12.5%. Nice. We'll have to see how that affects the movement, because the biggest problem with the Ultra is that it gets stuck behind stuff. So if that helps it not get stuck, it'll probably buff it by more than it seems. Increased range slop. I don't know what these words are. Increased range slop from 1 to 1.4. Oh, it says range target can move before miss. Okay. Interesting. I want to see the Ultra in play because these changes are kind of abstract, like reduce size. Yeah, honestly, I actually wish they did more already. But I'll have to see it because the reduced size might be a big deal. But I wish they buffed it more. Because I think the Ultra is pretty shit. Specifically against Protoss. It's also pretty bad ZVZ too, honestly. Muscular augments move speed bonus increased from 0.79 to 105. Damn, okay. Damage point reduced from 0.15 to 0.1. Okay, so they're trying to make the Hydralisk more microable, basically, like the speed bonus. So it's going to be much faster, like looks like 20% faster or 25% faster. And then the damage point is like how fast it attacks, basically, or not how fast it attacks, but how fast it responds to attacks. I'm pretty sure. So when you do like an A move, it'll find targets quicker. I think that's what that does. Broodlord move speed increased from 1.97 to 2.3. Alright, this is the first change I really dislike. I think buffing the Broodlord is like really lame, honestly. Unless they're gonna buff Protoss Tempest or something. I think Broodlords are like the most boring thing in the whole fucking game. So this change I really hate. I'll be honest. I mean, it's not a huge change, but and I could be persuaded actually. I could be persuaded if the Tempest is like better against Broodlords, so that it's like hard countered pretty well. But yeah, I'd rather we don't have really boring Broodlord games. Duration reduced from 5.71. Oh, I see. To 3.57. Interesting, actually. That actually might make them fun to play against a little bit more, because one of the things with the ground armies is you get like Archons going up against Broodlords, and the Broodlings stack so hard over time that you can't move your Archons. So this might be interesting to see how it works. What's up, Heaven? We'll see though, because if the Broodlords are like really good and we still get stalemate games, that's gonna suck. But if this somehow makes the Broodlord more dynamic and microable, and it's fun to play against, that'll be cool actually. Ravager, build time increased from 12 to 17 seconds. I wonder what that's for. I actually like don't even see a reason to do that. I'll be honest. I fail to see how this is going to impact stuff. I mean, like rushes will be slightly later and maybe you can't panic make them, but yeah, I mean, it seems fine, I guess. I don't really know. I don't see this impacting stuff a lot, but okay. Shield battery. Battery overcharge recharge rate reduced from 200% to 150%. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty big nerf. That's a pretty big nerf. Observer move speed increased from 2.63 to 2.82. I think they should have wrote something with this that said something like, Protoss players are unhappy that Marines can catch observers. Model size increased by 17%. So I'm going to make it easier to spot them, but also make them a bit faster. If you guys don't know what I'm referencing, the reason, like the last patch, they nerfed the observer speed, probably from 2.82 to 2.63. I don't remember, but probably that. And their reasoning was Terrans can't catch them. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It's more fun actually if you can keep them alive if you're good, and then if you're just not paying attention, they die. I think that's a good change. Archon can now fit between single gap walls. Oh fuck me. That's actually a really good change. That's actually really good. That's like one of the most annoying things is you can't move your Archons between bases. Collision size with other units unaffected. Interesting. Okay, so they managed to like abuse or fix a bug. Well, it's not even a bug. It's just like an annoying thing that you would have to use a war prism to move your Archons, or like recall because they got stuck behind a pylon and like stupid shit like that. So it looks like it's not really gonna buff it at all. It's just gonna let it fit through walls. Yeah, what's up, Coke? No more fat beeping Archons. Let's go. Nice. Move speed increased from 2.63 to 2.82. This might be a direct change to help them run away from lurkers or banes or something. That's nice. That's nice. I actually like so far the direction of the Protoss changes because they're making it so you have to be a better player. Like they're nerfing the overcharge, but they're actually buffing a lot of the other stuff slightly. So you're gonna have to be better, but yeah, it'll be more fun for the opponents to outplay you as well. Oh, but they're nerfing the Disruptor. Okay, if there's no other buffs, this is going to be really bad for Protoss. Purifier Orb Radius reduced from 1.5 to 1.35. There's no way there's another buff that compensates, I think. But we'll see. Interceptor Shields reduced from 40 to 30. Interceptor attack target priority reduced from 20 to 19. Okay, wait, I have to think about these. So they're reducing the shields. They're just directly nerfing the carrier's shields. That's actually pretty weird already because they're not even that good. Like the carrier's kind of shit right now, if we're being honest. Attack priority reduced from 20 to 19. What does that do? They should have written a reason here because there's definitely a reason, but I don't know what it is without them writing it down. It's probably like it intercept attack priority reduced from 20 to 19. It might make it so you can like aim with corruptors or something. I actually don't know what that does. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's another nerf. A slight nerf, if I had to guess. Oh, you just got ads again? Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. I'm not putting the ads on. It's just it's just Twitch doing that. Interceptor flying radius around target increased. Okay, so you can micro them a bit better. I think they're nerfing it in the top two, and then this one's a slight buff. But overall, that sounds pretty bad because carriers are not good right now. Believe it or not. Sentry build time reduced from 26.4 to 22.9. That doesn't really matter at all, honestly. That's out of the gateway, so that's like literally irrelevant. I doubt that's ever useful. Level 1 upgrades research time reduced by 7 seconds. Okay, so they're reverting the forge changes. That's pretty good, but honestly, they better have some Terran nerfs in late game. I can say that right now. They better have some Terran nerfs in late game because you won't be able to compete with them without the Disruptor being good. Like, I think they don't realize that Protoss is getting hard carried by the Disruptor being good right now. So, with this nerf, I highly suspect Protoss is going to get... They're going to have to end games quick, I think. Unless there's a Terran nerf here. Okay, wait. Hold up. Hold up. One sec, guys. Enhanced Shockwaves upgrade removed. Okay, that almost exclusively makes it fine, probably. That actually probably makes it fine late game already. Because basically the Disruptor is has to be good to counter ghosts, specifically. So if they nerf the ghost like this, it might be okay, potentially. Base EMP radius increased from 1.5 to 1.75. Okay, so they made it a bit better. They made it a bit better, but without an upgrade. Steady targeting is cancelled if the target moves more than 13.5 range away from the ghost while casting. Cast range is 10. Okay, because before, whenever you snipe stuff, it would always hit, I think. I mean, I don't think that's enough, actually, since they increased the base radius. I think this is definitely looking quite bad for Protoss, but okay. Hyperflight rotor upgrade time reduced from 121 to 100. Hyperflight rotor's cost reduced from 150 to 125. Okay, sick, sick. Everybody's favorite thing to play against, super speed banshees. This seems like a Zerg change. This is gonna be a nightmare with Protoss. I mean, it's not that bad, but playing against it with Protoss is like horrible. Mag field accelerator damage bonus changed from plus 20 versus armor to plus 10 versus all. I think that'll make it better against a Ravager, maybe? Or just in general better. They're clearly trying to buff mech here. Is their objective, I think. Radar range reduced from 30 to 27. That seems really inconsequential. Again, I'll just skip that one. Raven rework. Oh, wow, okay. Gas cost reduced from 200 to 150. So they're making it cheaper. Build time reduced from 43 seconds to 30. Wow, they're like really buffing the Raven. Starting energy increased from 50 to 75. Interference matrix duration reduced from 11 to 8. Anti-armor missile. Armor reduction reduced from 3 to 2. Okay. Corvid reactor upgrade removed. Gas reduced from 200 to 150. This is a lot of changes. I don't even know how this is gonna change things. It's probably more for TVT, but maybe they're trying to make it more incorporated into the other matchups, potentially. Like, this is a pretty big nerf, actually. The anti-armor missile reduction. The big thing is the build time. Yeah. 30 seconds instead of 43. Yeah, I agree with that. That's like a pretty big buff. It's quite a big buff, actually. Like, generally, one of the drawbacks in TVP is you don't really get any other harass units, but you can probably get more if they have that low of a build time. You might be able to build like 2 Raven instead of 1, honestly. Skip the mine drop and go 2 Raven. Well, I think this looks pretty bad for Protoss, if I have to say so myself. Follow acquire range reduced from 5 to 2. Follow acquire range. What? Units will switch to attacking from moving within this range of the follow target. What does that do? I'm not sure what that does. Well, I mean, I know what it does, but I don't know what that it says a bug fix, quality of life change. So, but that sounds like a nerf, no? Reduce from 5 to 2. That sounds like the opposite of a quality of life change, right? That's making it harder in a good way, but I think it's harder. Go eat. Go. I'm pretty sure that's harder. The Templar buff. The Templar didn't even really get buffed though, right? Like barely. They just increased the move speed, right? That's a very small buff. I don't think that's very big at all. Where was I? Attack blink delay reduced from 175 to 0.71. Standard number on normal game speed. Okay. Factory increase maximum spawn radius by 1. I think that's maybe to prevent units getting stuck, potentially. Widowmine reduced random unburrow burrow delay from 0.36 to 1.8. Okay, less random unburrow, I guess. No longer targets Zerg eggs without a manual order. Probably good. Fixed an issue where lock-on could enter a cooldown while the cyclone is loaded into a medevac. Lock-on no longer targets Zerg eggs. Okay. No! That's probably good. Fixed an issue where repeatedly issuing a stop command can increase the shield battery regen rate. Yeah, that was crazy OP. That's probably quite good for the 1-git expand builds, because I don't think you can do them anymore. Maybe, hopefully, in PvP. Fixed an issue where adepts could not be ordered to cancel the shade ability when selected with adepts who are not finished warping in. Interesting. I actually didn't know about that. Can now be ordered to load into a prism while shading, automatically canceling the shade. Nice. Fixed an issue where initial creep tumors could be cancelled. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to be cancelled. No longer unable to receive certain orders for 0.6 seconds after spawning. Oh, that's actually really good. So you can immediately inject. Attacks will no longer be blocked by certain low-ground Terran features. Okay. Maybe that means the rocks, right? Orbital command. Fix an issue where Mule could be cast. Wait, what? Where Mule could be cast targeting refineries close to command centers. Interesting. I had never seen that bug. Fix an issue where Hydralisk attack Faster at melee range. Fix an issue where morph to lurker would be cancelled with smart command immediately after. Okay, these are just like weird bugs I've never heard of. Attack target priority increased from 10 to 20. What? Attack target priority. Does anybody know what this does? Units affected by stasis can be issued any non-build commands instead of only move commands. Any non-build commands, like an attack move, I guess? Okay, so they'll auto-attack if you want them to. Fix an issue where units affected by interference matrix could not be issued stop commands. Fix an issue where units affected by interference matrix would walk forward below their attack range. Let's see if there's anything else interesting here. Yeah, I mean, really irrelevant stuff. Okay. Snipe can now be manually cancelled. Interesting. Well, I think this patch definitely does not favor Protoss, which is interesting. Oh, I actually didn't notice that one. So the Colossus won't run forward. Where does that say? Ah, okay. That's actually a pretty big buff, not having to micro your Colossus back. Okay. Well, I think overall this is pretty good for not Protoss players. I think, right? Like, I don't really see any like counter buffs unless they think Protoss is too OP right now. It seems weird to me, right? Because if we look at PvZ, the I don't think Protoss is like super favored in PvZ. Like, yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that's the case. The way this patch is set up, it looks like they think Protoss is too good in the mid game and the late game. Which is a little bit wild to me. Unless I'm misunderstanding like the carrier changes and stuff. Because like this is a pretty small buff. Pretty small revert. Like it definitely helps with timings and stuff, but it looks like they nerfed the Disrupt and the carrier. And they didn't really buff the High Templar. Like maybe it can feedback Vipers better, but there's no like power increase. And they buffed the Hydra too, right? So the Hydra has a buff. And then the Disruptor was nerfed. Like where's the compensation for the Disruptor nerf? I don't see it, right? Not in, I mean, Ghost EMP, yeah. In PvT I see a little bit of a nerf there for sure. But I don't see a counter buff in PvZ. Because that's going to really help Zerg when they're playing Ravager or Roach. Or even Hydra, honestly. Was there like a corresponding nerf to something here? Not really, right? There was just some buffs, actually. I think Zerg is going to benefit a lot from this, but we'll have to see. Also, they didn't buff like the most obvious thing ever, which was to put the Infester anti-air spell or whatever to be able to move, like follow the Hydra instead of being on the ground. That was like a pretty easy change, right? I'm pretty sure there was lots of people suggesting that. I don't think anyone disagreed with that one. So I'm surprised that change is not in here. The creep changes are pretty big. Yeah, that's true. The creep changes are pretty big. And they didn't nerf Colossus or anything, so you can probably still play like Stalker Colossus Disruptor. I would have liked to see them buff maybe the gateway units a bit more in the end game, potentially. And like maybe even nerf the disruptor more. Would have been fine by me. We'll have to see though. Like sometimes with these changes, like I look at them initially and I'm thinking like, okay, these will be you know, Terran favorite or Zerg favorite or Protoss favorite or whatever, but once you see them in game, like it oftentimes plays it a lot differently than you think it will. Like maybe the High Templar speed change is actually quite powerful. We'll have to see. And I really don't know what these do. This is the weirdest buff ever. I wonder what the reasoning is for this. Just to make it in line with Stalker Adept or something? This is like the weirdest change. I bet this is like a Protoss player that complained that the Sentry Stalker doesn't pop at the same time in PvP. I can almost guarantee you that's what this is. Because there's no other situation where that would be consequential, right? It says to bring it down to, where is it? 22.9. I bet it's now the same as the Stalker / Adept. Yeah, I like the Disruptor nerf. I wish they just counter buffed it though. Not counter buff. Counter buff something else rather. I'm gonna try 3 Sentry Opener versus 3 Rex. That's true. It would help against that. That's one of the only cases though, right? Because they weren't buffing the warp in time. They were only buffing the gateway build time. No, it's actually the opposite. It's actually the opposite. The Sentry build time is considerably less already. So what is the reason then? I actually don't understand at all what that buff is. That's like the weirdest buff. Someone's gonna have to explain that. That's on the the balance patch panel or something. I like the EMP nerf. I wish they would have just left the upgrade but remove shield parts. AK made it like not do anything against shields. I mean, that would have been a massive nerf. They could have like removed the disruptor with your change, I guess. It reveals cloaked units. That's all it does now. I guess it would nerf energy too, right? But removing shields is definitely one of the biggest things. I don't think Terran could compete with Protoss without that coke, because your Archons would be totally trash, or be totally OP, I mean. There's no way you could kill Archons with Terran. Well, I kind of didn't feel like the game needed that many changes, I'll be honest, but these are interesting. We'll have to see. We'll have to see, because it's really hard to like visualize this many changes. There's like 50 changes here. But my first instinct is that it's going to be not great for Protoss by quite a bit. But who knows? Maybe, I mean, Archons fitting through a single gap is like quality of life change, but that's actually pretty big, to be honest. Like just Archons being able to like not get stuck is actually kind of a nice change. What do I think about the Forge changes? I think that's okay, but I don't think that's going to change much. They're very tiny buffs. Like, they're not even close to in line with the Disruptor nerf, for example. The carrier changes will be the make or break. Wait, what? If they're real bad like they seem, it could be cannon rush season. Oh, I see what you're saying. Wait, the carriers are like, are these supposed to be buffs? Because these look like nerfs to me. Like, this is clearly a nerf. I mean, this basically buffs Hydras against them by a lot. The carrier nerf needed to happen, to be honest. Honestly, if you're playing against top Zergs, the carriers are like kind of shit. They're actually not that good. You actually mostly want to go Archon, Void Ray, Tempest. Like, those units are much better. The carrier, yeah, the carrier is not even that good against strong players because they just target them with Corruptor. I think you have a little bit of PTSD there, Logic. The Terran changes look fun, though. I like the Terran ones. The Terran, like Terran verse Protoss ones, I guess I should specify. I don't like the PVZ ones, though. Also, I don't see any Baneling run by nerf here. I think we need some quality of life changes, some Baneling nerfs against probes. So one probe can't kill, or one Baneling can't kill 25 probes. I think that's a little bit OP, guys. So at least 2, right? I'm not asking for a lot here. 5 Banelings can still kill my whole mineral line. There was a nerf. Shield upgrade got buffed. Where? You mean the shield battery? Shield battery got nerfed, right? You build shield upgrades now. You're fucking trolling me. we researched shield upgrades that finish 7 seconds faster. You fucking troll.